All right, ready to dive deep. You guys sent us the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Oh, this one is fascinating.
And it's going to, well, it might just change how you see things.
It really might.
Yeah, like the whole world. So Ruiz, he's drawing on this ancient Toltec wisdom
Right.
about happiness, love, and how we actually experience the world.
And it's incredible how he takes those ancient ideas and makes them so relevant to our lives today, you know?
Right. Like it's not some dusty old philosophy. It's like, bam, right in your face. And he starts right off the bat with this idea of domestication.
Domestication?
Yeah, he actually compares us to domesticated animals.
Yeah.
Saying we're trained from childhood, to accept whatever society believes.
Trained like pets.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
We get rewarded when we're good and punished when we're bad.
Rewards and punishments?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about it like getting a gold star in school for good behavior.
Or getting grounded for talking back. Yeah, I see.
Exactly.
It's such a, I don't know, a powerful analogy.
Right. It makes you think about how much those early experiences, they shape our beliefs.
Like the foundation.
Totally. And Ruiz calls this the book of law in our minds.
The book of law, huh?
Yeah. It's all these unspoken rules about how we should be, what we should achieve, even how we should feel.
Wow, I never thought of it like that.
And the crazy thing is, we usually don't even question these rules. We just accept them as truth.
Even if they go against, our true nature, right?
Exactly. Even if they make us unhappy.
Makes you think.
It does. Remember that story Ruiz tells about the little girl who was told her singing voice was ugly?
Oh, yeah, that one broke my heart.
I know, right? And she ends up carrying that belief with her for years.
Yeah.
Silencing her own voice, that unique thing inside her.
It's so powerful how those early messages can become these deep-seated beliefs.
Totally. It's like those voices, parents, teachers, society, everybody, they get internalized.
And they just stay there.
Yeah, and they become this mitote, that chaotic chorus in our heads that Ruiz talks about.
Oh, the mitote, right. It's it's kind of a mind-blowing idea.
I know, right? It's one of those things that's hard to wrap your head around. What does it actually feel like to be caught in that mitote?
Well, think about a time when you felt totally overwhelmed or unsure of what you really wanted, like you're being pulled in a million directions.
Oh, yeah.
That feeling of inner conflict, that sense of not knowing your own mind, that's the mitote at play.
Sounds like you're not even sure who you are anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it can be so hard to make decisions, trust yourself, even figure out what makes you happy.
Wow, that's heavy stuff.
It is.
So if we're all basically domesticated, stuck in this mitote of all these different voices, how do we break free? How do we find our own voice again?
That's where the Four Agreements come in. Ruiz presents them as tools.
Tools for what?
To combat what he calls the parasite.
The parasite. What's that?
That's the judge, the victim, all that negativity.
Oh, that inner critic.
That voice that just loves to tell you you're not good enough, you'll never succeed, that kind of stuff.
I know that voice. It's like a little gremlin living in my brain.
Exactly. And Ruiz is saying we can fight back, reclaim our freedom from that gremlin.
Okay, I'm liking this.
Yeah?
So the Four Agreements are like weapons to fight the parasite.
You got it.
All right, let's break down the first one. Be impeccable with your word. Sounds simple enough, but what does it actually mean?
Well, Ruiz is talking about the power of words, the way they can create and destroy.
Words can destroy.
They can. Think about gossip, for example.
Oh, yeah, gossip can be brutal.
It can spread like wildfire and cause real damage. Or think about things we say in anger.
Words said in the heat of the moment.
Exactly. Those words can leave scars, you know?
Yeah, words can be like weapons.
That's exactly what Ruiz is saying. He's urging us to be aware of how much weight our words carry.
To use them carefully, with intention.
Right. Speak with integrity, with kindness, with truth.
Okay, so impeccable doesn't just mean avoiding bad words.
It's much deeper than that.
It's about using your words to build people up, not tear them down.
Exactly.
But come on, who's really impeccable with their words all the time? I know I'm not.
Me neither.
So what's the point then?
It's an ideal to strive for, not necessarily a state of perfection.
More about intention than never messing up.
Right. Even if we slip up, even if we have moments where we're negative.
We're all human. We all make mistakes.
The key is to keep coming back to that commitment, to use our words consciously, with love.
And I guess that includes the words we use with ourselves, right?
Absolutely. Our inner dialogue is so powerful. If we can shift our self-talk to be more compassionate, more encouraging,
Instead of all that I'm not good enough stuff,
then we start to change our whole experience.
being impeccable with our word,
Yeah.
inside and out, that's an act of self-love.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So the first agreement, all about taking responsibility for our words.
Yeah. Powerful stuff.
No pressure, right. But before we get too overwhelmed, let's move on to agreement number 2. Don't take anything personally.
Ooh. That one hits home for a lot of people.
It did for me. So what's Ruiz getting at with this one?
Well, he's saying that nothing others do is truly because of us.
Wait, really?
Yeah, everyone's operating from their own reality, their own dream.
Shaped by their own beliefs and experiences.
Exactly. So when we take things personally,
Like when someone's rude to us?
we're letting their stuff become our burden.
I never thought of it like that. It's like we think everything's about us.
It's easy to fall into that trap.
Like someone cuts you off in traffic.
Road rage.
And you immediately think, what a jerk. They
Yeah.
did that on purpose to annoy me.
Yeah.
But the reality
But
is,
you're probably just having a bad day.
or late for work, or distracted, or who knows what.
Right. Their actions have nothing to do with you.
It's so hard to remember that in the moment, though.
It is. It takes practice. But Ruiz challenges us to step outside of ourselves.
To see the bigger picture.
Exactly. To recognize that everyone's dealing with their own stuff.
He even says that personal importance is the ultimate selfishness.
It is this idea that everything revolves around me, me, me. But the truth is, we're all just characters in each other's plays, you know?
That's a good way to put it.
It is, right. And that's where the freedom is. Recognizing that we can't control how others perceive us or what they do.
All we can control is our own reaction.
Right. So if someone calls you stupid, for example, it only hurts if you already believe that about yourself.
Their words are just triggering an existing wound.
Exactly.
Yeah, this ties back to the mitote.
How so?
Well, if our minds are already full of negative voices, limiting beliefs.
It makes sense that we'd be more sensitive, more likely to take things personally.
Yeah, like we're walking around with these open wounds, just waiting for something to trigger them.
And anything can trigger them,
Well,
right? A look, a word, a tone of voice.
Exactly. So this agreement, it's about developing a thicker skin, not letting those things get to us.
Exactly. Detaching from the opinions of others.
Ruiz even goes as far as to say that even if someone shot you, it wouldn't be personal.
That's a tough one to swallow.
It is. But I think I get what he's saying.
It's about understanding that everyone is acting from their own reality, even if that reality is distorted.
Okay, I don't know if I can go that far, but I get the point. We have a choice in how we react.
We always have a choice.
We can choose to take things personally and let them drag us down.
Or we can choose to detach, to let go.
To release the burden of other people's opinions. That's a powerful idea.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Imagine the freedom that comes with not taking things personally, the peace of mind.
That's a beautiful thought, and I think it leads perfectly into the third agreement. Okay, so we've talked about the power of words, not taking things personally.
2 pretty big agreements.
Yeah, a lot to think about.
It is, right. But they're so foundational.
They are. They kind of set the stage for everything else.
Exactly. And now we're on to agreement number 3. Don't make assumptions.
Ooh, this one feels, I don't know, especially relevant today. With social media and everything, it's so easy to misinterpret things.
Isn't it? Like everything's a potential misunderstanding waiting to happen.
Right, and Ruiz, he's talking about how often we jump to conclusions.
Fill in the blanks without all the information.
Exactly. And then we react based on those assumptions. It's like we create these whole stories in our heads.
Based on like the tiniest bit of evidence.
Right. Remember that example he gives about the couple and the birthday present?
Oh, yeah, the one where the woman assumes her partner knows what she wants.
And she ends up all disappointed and resentful.
Even though her partner had no clue.
Right. He was totally in the dark.
It's classic. It shows how assumptions can lead to, like, all these misunderstandings and hurt feelings.
And it happens all the time, not just in romantic relationships.
Oh, absolutely. Friends, family, colleagues, you name it.
Like assuming a friend is mad at you because they didn't text back right away.
Oh, yeah. Guilty of that one.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's so easy to create drama in our minds.
Based on nothing.
Well, based on assumptions.
Which are basically nothing, right?
True. And Ruiz calls it the war of control.
The war of control.
Yeah. It's like we're trying to control situations and people.
Based on our limited understanding.
Which is usually wrong.
Often, yeah. He's not saying we shouldn't trust our intuition or have opinions.
Right. We can still think for ourselves.
But he's urging us to, like, check our assumptions before we react.
So instead of assuming we know what someone's thinking or feeling,
just ask.
Just ask. It sounds so simple.
Right. But it's hard.
It is. It's like breaking a bad habit.
It's a shift in mindset. Instead of approaching things with a sense of knowing,
We need to be more curious.
Exactly. Ask questions, seek clarification, admit we don't have all the answers.
Be open to the possibility that we might be wrong.
That's a big one.
It is. But, I think it all ties back to not taking things personally.
How so?
Well, if we can release that need to be right all the time.
It becomes easier to be open to other perspectives.
Exactly. And then it's less likely that we'll make assumptions in the first place.
Right, because we're not so attached to our own version of the story.
Yeah, we're more willing to see things from other people's point of view.
It's about creating space for genuine connection and understanding.
It's about choosing love over fear.
I love that.
So we've covered 3 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, they're all about changing our perspective, taking responsibility for our own thoughts and actions.
Setting the stage for transformation.
And now we're on to the final agreement. Always do your best.
This one seems, I don't know, pretty straightforward.
It does, right? Like, just give it your all, 110% all the time. But Ruiz, he takes it deeper.
Deeper how?
Well, he emphasizes that your best is going to change from day to day, even moment to moment.
So it's not about some fixed standard.
Right, it's not about being perfect all the time. Some days you'll be killing it, other days you'll be barely functioning.
Exactly. He's saying let go of the outcome and focus on the effort.
Just show up, do what you can with what you have in that moment.
Exactly.
Remember that story he tells about the man asking the master about meditation?
Oh, yeah, the one where the man wants to know how long it'll take to achieve enlightenment.
And the master says, if you meditate 4 hours a day, perhaps in 10 years.
And the guy's like, well, what if I meditate 8 hours a day?
And the master says, perhaps in 20 years.
It's brilliant. It shows how focusing on the outcome, on some future goal, can actually slow us down.
It's like the journey is the destination.
Right. The true joy is in the effort itself, in the present moment.
So this agreement, it's about shifting the focus from achievement to intention.
Not about being perfect, but about being present.
And being kind to ourselves along the way.
Yes. Recognizing that we're all works in progress.
Constantly evolving.
Exactly. And when we do our best, we're less likely to get caught up in that negative self-talk, those comparisons.
It's like we're starving the parasite.
You got it. We're shifting our attention to the effort, to the present moment, to the joy of simply being.
As we're talking about this, I keep thinking about how all 4 agreements are so interconnected.
They are, aren't they?
It's like being impeccable with your word leads to taking things less personally.
Which makes you less likely to make assumptions.
And when you're doing your best, it's easier to embody all those agreements.
It's a beautiful cycle. It's not about following these agreements rigidly or perfectly.
Right, it's about the spirit behind them.
Exactly, letting them guide your actions and interactions.
And you know what? It all ties back to the mitote.
To that chaotic chorus in our heads.
Yeah. These agreements, they offer a way to quiet that noise.
To find some peace, some clarity amidst all that chaos.
To start living from a place of authenticity and self-love.
And that leads us to the Toltec concept of the dream of the second attention.
Ooh, okay. I've been wondering about that. We've talked about domestication, the first attention, where we absorb all those societal beliefs.
Right, all that programming.
But what exactly is the second attention?
It's like the shift that happens when we become aware of those limiting beliefs.
When we see them for what they are.
Exactly. And we consciously choose to challenge them.
We're waking up from that domesticated state.
Exactly. We realize that we have the power to create a new reality, a new dream.
Based on our own values and desires.
It's about reclaiming our power, becoming the artists of our own lives.
That sounds amazing, but also kind of daunting. Like, how do we actually make that shift?
It's a process, for sure. It takes courage and commitment.
Going up against a lifetime of conditioning.
It's a battle. But Ruiz offers tools and practices to help us break free from those old patterns.
He compares it to a warrior going into battle.
Fighting for their own liberation.
That's intense.
It is, but it's also incredibly empowering.
Because we have the power to break free.
That's the message. We can heal those emotional wounds, create a life that's aligned with our true selves.
And he calls this process the initiation of the dead.
It's a symbolic death of the old self.
The self that's ruled by fear and limiting beliefs.
And a rebirth into a state of freedom and authenticity.
It's a powerful image. like a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly.
Exactly. And it reminds us that transformation isn't always easy.
It can be messy, uncomfortable,
It requires us to face our fears, let go of the past, embrace the unknown,
but the reward is transcending suffering.
becoming an embodiment of love.
Okay, that sounds pretty amazing, but also a little abstract.
Yeah.
How do we actually experience this initiation?
Ruiz doesn't give a step-by-step guide.
It's not like a recipe.
Right, but he suggests that it unfolds naturally as we deepen our awareness and commitment to personal growth.
As we practice those four agreements,
As we become more conscious of our thoughts and actions,
we start to shed those old layers of self.
and step into a more authentic way of being.
It's like that Rumi quote, you have to die a few times before you can really live.
I love that.
It's about letting go of those identities we've constructed
Based on expectations, past experiences, even our own fears.
and allowing our true selves to emerge,
That's where the real freedom is, aligning with who we truly are.
living a life that's guided by our own inner compass.
You know, it's fascinating how Ruiz links all of this to the mastery of intent.
Intent?
Yeah, he says intent is like the life force that makes transformation possible.
The fuel that drives the whole process.
It's what connects us to that universal energy of love.
So it's not just about willpower or self-discipline.
It's about aligning with something greater, something more powerful.
Tapping into a source of wisdom and creativity that's always there.
Exactly. We're not alone in this journey. We have access to this infinite source of love and support.
And it's through our intention that we tap into that power.
And create the life we desire.
Okay, so we've covered the four agreements, talked about some pretty deep concepts, but there's still so much more to explore, especially that idea of love as this transformative force.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other deep dive. Ruiz dedicates a big chunk of the book to exploring the nature of love.
And its role in personal and collective transformation.
We'll dive into all of that and more in the final part of our deep dive into the four agreements.
All right, welcome back. We've been on quite the journey exploring the four agreements.
It's been a deep dive, that's for sure.
It has all these, powerful principles, Toltec philosophy.
Profound stuff.
It is. But now I'm thinking, how do we actually put all of this into practice?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right. How do we take these ancient ideas and make them work in our, modern lives, our busy, messy, chaotic lives?
Well, the good news is Ruiz doesn't just leave us hanging with all these big concepts.
There's got to be some practical stuff.
There is. He gives us actual tools, techniques to help us integrate the agreements into our daily lives.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Give me the practical stuff.
All right, so one thing he emphasizes is the power of rituals.
Rituals.
Yeah, even simple daily activities, they can become rituals if we approach them with intention.
Go. I think I'm following.
Like, think about brushing your teeth.
Brushing my teeth.
Yeah, instead of just going through the motions.
Which I usually do.
Right. But what if you use that time to cultivate a sense of gratitude?
Gratitude for what?
For your body, for your health, even for just having teeth to brush.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
It's about those little moments throughout the day where we can pause, connect with ourselves, shift our energy.
Like little mini meditations.
Exactly. We're infusing those ordinary tasks with, like, a sense of sacredness.
I like that. It doesn't have to be this big, complicated thing.
Nope. It could be taking a few deep breaths before you start work,
Oh, yeah.
lighting a candle while you're cooking dinner, taking a moment to appreciate nature.
Just being present.
Exactly.
It's so easy to forget to do that, Just
Yeah.
get swept away in the busyness of everything.
It is. We all do it. Ruiz also talks about visualization.
Visualization, okay.
Yeah. Like, imagine yourself living in that heaven on earth he describes.
That world where we're free from all the fear and judgment and negativity.
Exactly. Where love is the guiding force.
Where we communicate clearly, with compassion.
Embrace our true selves without shame.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. It's like creating a movie in your mind
Of what that ideal reality would look like.
and focusing on that.
Choosing to focus on the positive, the possibility.
A love that's always there,
Yeah.
even when things are tough.
Right. And all these techniques, the rituals, the visualizations are all about shifting our perception.
Creating a new reality from the inside out.
You got it. Ruiz is saying we have the power to create our own dream, our own personal reality.
And it all starts with our thoughts, beliefs, intentions.
That's the foundation.
And that's where the four agreements come in. They're like the framework for that new dream. A dream based on love integrity, authenticity.
Dismantling those old limiting beliefs.
Replacing them with these new agreements, new ways of seeing ourselves, seeing the world.
He even talks about being mindful of the symbols and images we surround ourselves with.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like are they reinforcing those old beliefs or are they supporting our growth?
So choose things that represent love, joy, abundance, freedom.
Exactly. We're curating our own environment to reflect the reality we want to create.
Our surroundings can really impact us, can't they?
They can. It's about taking ownership of our inner and outer worlds.
Making sure they're aligned with our values, aspirations.
And one of the most powerful tools for aligning with our highest selves is prayer.
Prayer.
Yeah. Ruiz shares a bunch of prayers in the book. They're designed to connect us with our inner wisdom, cultivate self-love.
Connect with that universal energy of love.
Right. There's one called the Prayer for Love.
I remember that one.
It's this beautiful guided visualization
Where you receive a flame of love,
from a wise old man.
and it grows and expands until it encompasses everything.
All of nature, all beings, all of creation.
It's so powerful.
It is, right. It reminds us that we're all connected.
That love is this force that flows through everything.
And what's great is these prayers, they're not tied to any specific religion.
They're universal.
Anyone can use them.
Ruiz isn't trying to convert anyone or push a particular dogma.
He's just offering these tools, these teachings,
A path to freedom.
to experience more love, more joy, more peace.
But what about the skeptics? The people who say, well, that's all nice, but the world is a tough place. Love isn't going to solve all our problems.
He addresses that. He acknowledges the challenges, but he insists that love is the most powerful force there is.
That it can heal our wounds,
Yeah.
individually and collectively.
He even says that love is the answer to everything. War, violence, poverty, injustice.
That's a bold statement.
It is, but I think there's truth in it. When we choose love over fear,
Compassion over judgment, kindness over indifference.
we create a ripple effect.
That could change the world.
It's like that Gandhi quote, be the change you wish to see in the world.
Ruiz is calling us to be embodiments of love.
To radiate that energy outward, inspire others.
And it doesn't have to be these big, grand gestures.
It can be small acts of kindness.
a kind word, a helping hand, a moment of connection.
It all makes a difference.
And, he's not saying he's some perfect guru who has it all figured out.
He's been on his own journey.
He's sharing what he's learned, what's worked for him.
He even says, if I was able to break those agreements and create new ones, then you can too.
It's inspiring, isn't it? It gives you hope.
It does. It's not just a set of rules, it's an invitation.
An invitation to what?
To embark on a journey of self-discovery.
To awaken to our true potential.
To become the embodiments of love that we're meant to be.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the 4 agreements.
We've explored the principles, the philosophy, the power of love.
But as with any deep dive, we've only just scratched the surface.
There's always more to discover, more to learn.
More to integrate into our lives.
And we encourage you to keep exploring these ideas, experiment with the practices.
See how these agreements can transform your own life.
Remember, the wisdom of the Toltecs is a gift.
A pathway to freedom, to a world filled with love.
And it's up to each of us to take that gift and make it our own.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we have.